Hello, and this is my design test or level design test of a game called VLAD, which is all based off of VLAD the Impaler back in the 1500s. So, my concept was basically, in this section, it's a brief overview of who VLAD is, how he was taken hostage by the Hungarians and whatnot. And after explaining that, it goes into more about the player is assigned by the people of the town to go get these relics that Vlad had stolen from them to get revenge for imprisoning him in Bran Castle. So that's the main reason why, that's the main thing in this game is why you're there. And then moving on to the next part, which is the core mechanic. I had an idea to have the player use one weapon, and it could help you do two things. One, it can help you unlock the cages that use that hold the relics in it, because around the map there is relics in each of the 4 areas. And then the next thing it would do is you would have this counter or bar that would go up, and it would be your bloodlust counter. So anytime you would kill one of the follower vampires that Vlad has guarding each relic, your bar would go up more, and once that is full, it would give you a stronger attack, so you could one-shot things. You can't one-shot the boss, but you could one-shot other enemies throughout the map because they have less health. That's the main mechanic. Bloodlust is the main mechanic, and then the little unlocking mechanism is like a side thing. More on where this takes place. It is in Bran's castle, and since it's such a big place, I just narrowed it down to some of the main rooms in the castle that you could see. You can go visit the castle. It's a tourist attraction now. So the player will start in the inner courtyard, which will have some hiding spots and such to hide from enemies. And then you will move out of the courtyard into a smaller room called the crossing room. And then from the crossing room, you will go to the music room. And then from the music room, you will go down to the dungeon of the castle. Each area will have a relic guarded by vampires. And at the end, the player will find Vlad, which holds 2 relics. This has there's only two types of enemies in this: the follower vampires and Vlad the Impaler. The follower vampires are very quick. They're very quick to act, and they'll guard the relics. When you get into the area, they won't do anything right away, but once you get close enough and they see you, in their range, they will go right after you. They have 2 ways of attacking. One way being with their sharp claws or sharp nails, which do less damage, and one with their fangs, which will do more damage. Vlad, I decided to give him the same mechanic the player has, which is the bloodlust. So if he hits you enough, he will proc his bloodlust, and he'll be able to use it on you. So the main point of the boss battle is to just keep dodging, and not get hit, because if you get hit, then he'll be able to use his bloodlust. The different enemies in the areas, there's 3 follower vampires in the courtyard. 2 follower vampires in the crossing room, 3 in the music room. There's only 2 in the crossing room because the crossing room is such a small room. And then in the dungeon, it is just VLAD, and that is it. And VLAD is the only thing you have to fight in that room, and that whole area is just about dodging. And once you kill him, you can collect the 2 relics and then freely leave because all the enemies will be dead in the level. Moving on, I have a mood board, which shows each area, which I changed them a little bit because these are actual images from the castle itself. I changed them a little bit because the dungeon is so small, I wanted to make it bigger, so I made it a little bit bigger. And then there's the music room with the piano and the chairs. And then there's the crossing room, which is just a small room, and then the inner courtyard. And then I had some more darker styled castle references. For the next thing, I have a simple level design. So you have your critical path to go through the entire level and then out the exit, or you can go back up through if you want to look at the level more. And then there's the golden path, so you just go this way, and up. Same here, and then straight through. Then there's the little enemies, the little red vampires, and then Vlad's the big one, and all these green things are just relics. I had an idea of maybe doing it could have been the armory that the people had, so silver bullets, but I wasn't able to really find anything too detailed about what they would have had back then. But these 3 here in the inner courtyard are where the orange lines go to. They're all hiding spots, so you can hide behind the chair, the piano, the other chair. You can hide behind a statue, a rock, or a bush. The crossing room doesn't have any hiding spots just because it's so small, and then like I said before, the dungeon is just a dodging sort of scenario. Then there's cages that hold the relics, which you are able to unlock. And then there's the doors and archways and whatever, or whatnot. So that's that. And then moving on to the Unity level, I'm just gonna quickly show it through here first. So basically, it's not super detailed, but you have the big stone in the courtyard, you have a bigger bush, and then you have a statue, and you can hide behind all of these to avoid the enemies. I wasn't sure how to put a proper cage around these relics, but that's what these are. They're just little relics in each room. But you can fight off the vampires, obviously. And then you can go through here into the crossing room, which I just gave it a little carpet. And like I said before, there isn't very many hiding spots in this room. And in this room, there's little chairs, and then this is supposed to be the piano. And you go in here, you fight off the enemies again, collect the item. And then these, I probably could have angled them down, but these are the stairs to go down into the dungeon, and then there's some stones and whatever. You could probably hide behind some of these, but it's mainly just dodging. And then once again, there's 2 relics here, and then once you collect those, you're free to leave. So I will go through, I'll just walk through this. I'm not too sure why the player controller was a little messed up, but it wasn't wanting to walk around properly. But oh, maybe now it's working. So yeah, you'd have the enemies here, and it would probably start more back here, so they wouldn't see you right away because the range will probably only be about this big around them, so you can go hide behind these, or I'll do ray casting and have like the line of sight, so if they see you, they'll either lunge at you or just run at you. And you'd be able to pick this up, and then if you need to, you can hide behind this, or you can hide behind the bush. And then you go across here to the crossing room. Once again, you'd fight these off. More dodging than hiding. Going back, I could add like tables, maybe like a fireplace like there was in this fireplace door. But yeah, collect the other relic, and then you go through here, and you can hide behind the chairs. You can hide behind the piano. Fight off the enemies, dodge some more. This is a very dodgy, like dodging and battle type game. And then there's more chairs to hide behind. Final vampire here. And at this point, if you didn't want to use your bloodlust on any of these, you could save it and you could just go right into the final boss and use it either right away, because I don't plan on giving it like a time limit. I think it's just if you have it, you have it. If you use it, you have to get back. You have to just raise your bar more. This is a very big room, so you could dodge more, because I would want to make this a like bigger boss fight. That's why he's larger. And then once you would kill off VLAD, you would collect these two last relics by unlocking the cages they would be in, and then you can freely leave. That's pretty much the entire thing. I like the concept. This was probably the hardest thing to come up with, but it was nice to be able to go off of the actual rooms that this castle had. In the end, I think it could be an interesting idea, basing it off of history, like actual history in the 1500s. So yeah, that was my game concept design or level design. It's not too much, but I think it's pretty decently put together. So yeah.